All right, guys. Uh, wasn't always pretty. It never is. I knew they'd all be hard. The ups and downs of a game, the adversity of a game. But at the end of the day, found a way to come out victorious. And that's all that matters. Is there a lot to work on? Absolutely. Like I said, it 100% starts with me. Got to find ways to continue to do things. Credit to a great Stephen F. Austin team. There's a reason they won their last six. They're well coached. They play hard. They gave us everything we can handle. We went in the locker room at halftime, and I said we had to flush all that crap, and we had to find a way to come back out and have a little bit of energy. I thought we came out flat, and again, that starts with me. I got to figure out ways that we can get going fast, and I'm still searching for the answers, and that's the reality of it. We keep going back to the drawing board. Am I pleased with the win? Yes. 5-2 now. We got a hell of a challenge ahead of us in Annapolis at Navy. But I'm proud of the way we fought, able to come back and get a win and do those things. So,
Terry, first question.
Congrats, Coach. How you doing?
Good, Terry. Thanks. How are you?
Doing well. It's very balanced attack today. Your defense barely gave over 200 yards. No person scored more than one touchdown, and everything was just balanced all across.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Terry, as you know, we'd like to be as balanced as we can be. Really proud of our defense, right? They only gave up 7 points. They were able to stop the run, not give up any big plays, and that's kind of the key of this whole deal. Still got to find ways to run the football as an offense. It's not clicking. We were able to break off some of those, and man, I'd just love to be able to break one off for a long run one time and actually get in the end zone. We're getting closer. But as we saw, we got a variety of backs that continue to get the ball there and find ways. But we got to clean things up. Too many tackles for loss. Special teams played a little bit better. Obviously, proud of Calvin Austin's punt return. I believe it looks like they were actually trying to fake the punt. Again, you guys probably have a better review. I didn't get to see that. It looked like the guy was going to throw and then end up punting it. But I'll have to go back and look at that copy tonight. I didn't obviously see the replay on the video board. All three phases played pretty well, pretty balanced. The biggest thing, which will come up, you guys will ask, what's the biggest thing I'm disappointed in? One, how we start as an offense and not consistent. And obviously, another game without a turnover. We shouldn't even put that opening drive into question with Drake, and then Brady White throwing the pick six. And those things we're going to have trouble overcoming those. And again, like I said, we've got to play within ourselves, within our system, but find ways to be able to play and start faster.
Steven?
Calvin Austin had 150 plus receiving yards, over 100 yards on punt returns. Considering everything that's kind of happened, with Coxie opting out, knowing his story from a walk-on to a scholarship player, how much does it mean that you just kind of watch his development this season?
You just when you say his name, I put a smile on my face. He's look from a walk-on to being, a legit all-star. It's so great to see. And all that being said, Stephen, he is a fantastic human. I've got on this thing and bragged about him before after our home games, and just about how proud I am as who he is as an individual, right? Smart and tough, and what he was able to do to earn a scholarship. Again, think about this. This is his first year as a scholarship football player. And that's a great story, but I'm just so proud. All right. Like you guys will say, another game with over 100 yards receiving, like you said, 10 catches, right? The punt referred to a touchdown, and then the throwing for the 2-point conversion. He scared me on that one. I was wondering how long he was going to hold on that damn ball before he threw it. But he is Mr. Diversity, and he's able to do so much on the field for us. I know he's going to start begging for us to line him up in the backfield, get some carries, but man, he's been absolutely fantastic.
Brian?
Hey, Coach, I know you said you'd like to start faster. My concern is in the second quarter. The past 5 games, you guys have been outscored 84-26. When you look at that second quarter, what do you see some of the problems are for you guys?
Brian, that's a great question. And so we did this self-scout. I think I told you guys in the press conference on Monday. So we did a self-scout last week, and we were going back and we watched our first 4 games, and we're averaging 10 plays a drive in the opening drives when we had the ball. And you say, okay, well, obviously our game plan is probably pretty consistent with what we want it to look like and do those things. But you're right. We got to figure out what are we doing? Where's that law coming from in that second quarter? And Brian, right now, I don't have an answer for you. Like I said, maybe I got to find ways to remotivate. You guys said bring the guys off the sideline in the third quarter. Well, shoot, maybe we got to make this a quarterly thing. I don't know. I don't have that answer, but it is. It's not. It's not in our favor, and it's, for lack of a better term, it's disturbing that we're not doing what we need to do in that second quarter. We have to find a way. As you guys know, we defer quite often, so we know we're getting the ball back, but we just got to continue to find ways to execute better.
Evan?
Ryan, the bench kind of got fired up when John Cartwright had that interception. I know you were pretty excited about him just being able to come back, and we thought he was lost. What was that just kind of like, just seeing him just kind of have that performance within this defense, kind of having the game they had?
Yeah, I mean, John Cartwright is, relatively a newcomer to our team, right? If you guys saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't even recognize him, even more so with a mask. But the nice thing is, he's a guy that came to our program late, but he is smart and tough, and he's got the tools to continue to be a better football player. And, but to have him back, we kind of thought he was lost for the dead with his injury. But he's one of those that rehabbed the heck out of it. And he means so much to this program, and this program means so much to him, right? Even though he's been with us for a short term, he's one of those guys that's going to lay it all out there. He does what he's supposed to in the classroom, off the field. He's a joy to be around. The rest of the defensive line have really embraced him. He's got a very, very bright future here. And we're really glad we got him. It was a great addition this summer to have him here, a great young man. And for him, and I think that speaks to the excitement, right? You know that you got the right guy when you see his big butt make that interception. And I don't know if he was supposed to be dropping or not. I'll leave that one for film discussion later. But hey, he caught the ball. His ball security was fine. I think he went forward some and then backward some, but just so pleased with him and happy for him. And obviously his teammates were as well.
With that said, too, the defense obviously came out starting well. Like you said, you only held Stephen Austin to one touchdown. How pleased were you just kind of trying to get this to build on for maybe next week against Navy, obviously knowing that's going to be a physical game as well for this defense?
Yeah, I mean, Evan, for us, the biggest thing is building confidence, right? And, we always talked about with our young wide receivers and Calvin, right, guys, building confidence there. We're still continue to try to do that on defense, right, with the corners and some of those things. But I think over the last few weeks, our defense is feeling more comfortable with the scheme, right, and getting things and having an understanding of what we're asking for, right, whether it be all the meetings and the games and film to watch. I think they're getting more comfortable in the scheme and they're executing at a high level. Obviously, we're going to have to keep it going one game at a time, but, these next 3 weeks, we're certainly going to be thrown into the gauntlet, and glad that we were able to execute today, and we know we're going to have our hands full next week versus Navy.
Terry?
Hey, Coach, on that 2-point conversion for Calvin Austin, was that a coach's design play or a Calvin Austin design play? And what did you think when Calvin start throwing the ball?
Yeah, I mean, look, credit to Coach Kevin Jones for a great play call and design. But, it's nice when you have that type of speed back there, right? I don't think they would line me up and ask me to try to execute it. So, when you have that type of speed and a young man that can throw, I think you combine those and say, okay, how can this work in our favor? And it worked out perfectly there. Obviously, we wanted to go up because it did no good to kick the extra point there. And I'm telling you, when he came around and he hit that right hash and he still hadn't thrown the ball, and I saw Sean Dykes standing back there like this, I said, I think I stopped breathing for about 3 seconds. And then, he kind of held it the last second, just kind of delivered it up like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I didn't see the replay, but it kind of went off those fingertips and nicely executed pass and a great catch by Sean Dykes. But yeah, again, another play where Calvin Austin's going out there and doing what he does.
Stephen?
Hey, Ryan, in the first half, the run game still looks like it was still trying to find itself. What do you think kind of just changed in that second half?
Yeah, Stephen, let's be very clear. I'm not happy with our run game one bit. It's frustrating. It's what's the things that keep me up at night? The lack of stuff in the run game and not being able, to execute. Brian kind of asked that second quarter question, whether it's starting fast or just being inconsistent, right? As an offensive coach, again, I'm obviously the head coach, but being more involved with the offense. You want to be consistent. And I think, look, credit Stephen F. Austin. I mean, they were physical in that first half. They came out. I think our guys trusting the run lanes. They were bringing different safeties down. They were bringing some guys off the edge. I think once our guys kind of got a feel for, okay, and playing with their eyes up and having that understanding of what was going to occur, that allowed for, the running backs trying to lower their pad level. Once you're able to make that safety miss, I think that's where those bigger creases came. But, in the first half, those safeties were coming down and making the tackles for the shoot sometimes, negative plays, tackle for losses, but then, other times 1 or 2 yards. So I think that was part of the full equation.
How pleased were you with the excuse me, sorry.
Go ahead.
How pleased were you with the play of Marcavius Weaver today?
Yeah, I mean, look, Weaver's a guy that has filled in nicely and done some good things. He had a great third down pass pro as well. I always talk about pass protection first because I think that's got to be the running back's most important role. So he did a nice job there. But I'm pleased with him, right? He's a guy we've relied on, as you guys see, right? He plays quite a bit on special teams. So glad to get him in the mix, and I think he was a couple yards short. 6 yards short, 5 yards short of 100 yards. So that's always good to see. Obviously, we don't worry about stats, but just to see that him being productive back there certainly will help us.
Clayton, last question for Coach.
Hey, Coach. You haven't had a lot of opportunities this year to kind of go down the depth chart in games this year. How valuable was that to be able to get some of your guys in later in this game today? Get them some game reps.
I think that's important. Look, we've got we like our depth, but I'm sure some of you guys were checking your roster and saying, who is that? But it was good, right? I mean, to be able to get 3 quarterbacks in the game, just about every one of our running backs, it's just those young receivers. People say, why did you try to throw it at the end? Reality, we're just trying to get TJ Moore, senior, a catch in the ball. So it wasn't like we were trying to do anything fancy there. If that comes out, obviously, that was certainly not any other reason. We weren't trying to get a senior to the ball. But it was great, right? You saw guys in the secondary. I mean, quite a few freshmen on the defense got reps in there. A whole new slew of O-linemen. So pleased with it, and I think that's important. It's going to bode well for the future for us, Clayton.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.